right, chat. It's you and me. We got music going. We got stuff happening. We got paint to do. Really nervous, honestly, about the Goatmen, and I'm not sure yet what color we're gonna paint them. So, I've been thinking about it for like a month. So my goal right now is we're gonna start with dry brushing, right? And we're gonna get them slap chopped to white, and we'll see then what colors we want to add on top, because I think it might be interesting if they're not all the same color, you know. But anyway, we'll give some people some time to catch up here while I shake out some of these paints. Get them ready to be used, because I don't yet know what colors we're going to be using, so might as well have them ready. Rock. At some point, I really have to get one of those little paint mixers. I just put the paint on, go, and then it's good, you know? Also, yes, this camera up here is going to be blurry until we get started, and then you should be able to see fine. There's a part of me that wants to make them like corn colored. Not corn as in corn on the cob, but corn as in corn. Blood for the blood god corn. Because I really like the idea of them being beastmen that have completely given over to corn. But I also really like Gorgrunta flesh. That is one of my favorite colors. And so I think that, or Gorgrunta fur, I think that could be a really good color for them, but I don't just want them to be like brown. So I'm thinking we'll see how the dry brushing works on them, but I'm thinking we might go like the white for either their beards and their hair or for the chest. It's tough to say. I don't think I primed quite enough up there, so that guy's gonna be fun and interesting. That guy might have to wait for next time, because I sure did miss a spot right there. I didn't notice it until just now. But we'll see how it goes. Lighten them up, it may not matter. It may not matter. I was running out of Chaos Black when I was trying to prime all these, so we will see. All right. I think we've discussed it enough. I think we've wasted enough time here. I'm gonna open up my drink. I'm gonna take a nice gulp. It is so hot in this room, chat. Like, it is record heats right now where I live, and it is so hot in this room. It's actually like a lot of spots that I missed, and I blame that on my Chaos Black going out. But I'm a little concerned that it might affect the painting tonight, and I didn't notice it until just now. That's really not good, actually. All right, well, we might be changing plans here. Might wind up painting Tobi Kadachi instead. Because, like, that's a lot that was missed priming. Well, crud. All right, chat. Here's what we're going to do. We got one of these boys that is primed all the way through. So we're going to get him done tonight. And we're going to see how he looks afterwards. But we absolutely need some extra priming on some of the rest of these boys. I'll bring them up close where you can see it. But there are a lot of spots that didn't get primed as well as I thought they would. And I don't want to waste the goats and mess them up here. So we're gonna paint the one that I know is good, and then I'm gonna have to reprime the rest before next time. This guy's pretty good too, so except for his chest right there. Man, come on. All right, so we have one goat, and that'll be our template for tonight. And we'll try him out and see what we think. Get some colors done on him, and then, you know, we'll see from there. We'll go from there. If we need to then do Tobi Kadachi, we'll then do Tobi Kadachi, you know? I'm a little frustrated that I missed that, but it is what it is. I ran out of Chaos Black that I used to prime these, and thought, well, it'll be fine, you know, we'll make up for it later, and then completely forgot about it. So I do have to get some more Chaos Black, and I'll have to do that before the next painting stream. Get enough gray off of there, and let's start highlighting. I want it pretty thick on here for the details. For his fur, I want the gray pretty thick. I like good shadows, but I want the gray to really shine in here. Go. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. This also means that we can take our time with this guy. Make sure that we have him done the way we want. And we've got another one down there that we'll probably go ahead and paint today anyway. Alright, I think that's pretty good on the gray for this guy. So we'll set him aside for now, although we should probably get the bottom of the gun. The bottom of that. There we go. We'll set him aside for now. We got one more we're going to go ahead and do tonight. Is this one. Our shaman. So we're going to go ahead and get him all grayed up. And I want to leave more shadows for him. So we're not going to go quite as thick. Because I want the shaman to be a little spooky, you know? Alright. A little bit too much water on my palette. I had to get up and fix that in a minute. See? There we go, and now you can see all that wonderful detail in the chest and the helmet. I love how this just automatically makes all these shadows. It's why this is my preferred way to paint now. Alright, well. Just wind up with a lot of really nice shadows. The back of the staff too. Like I said, we're going to start with these two and see how we feel after we're done with them. There's a couple more of them that we could go ahead and paint tonight, but I want to make sure we have our color scheme down, and I also need to get a little bit more primer on those guys because I ran out of primer. All right. And again, just that little wash with the dry brush really brings out so many details on these guys. Spray out of it. Love using these napkins too because they don't tear apart when they get wet. And they're not too rough on the brush either. A little bit of gray still in there, but not too bad. Not bad at all. All right, good. There for now. Now it's time for the white. And again, since we ran out of primer, if we finish these up too fast, then we'll do Tobi Kadachi. But for now, we're going to focus on these goats. Don't want to get too much white on them. Make sure we get a bunch of the extra white off the brush. All those big deep spots there. Don't want any of that. That should be good right there. Let's get started. And as always, we just want to give it a nice light coat of the white, because that'll bring out all the detail that we want here. I'm getting a little bit more on the belt there. I want to make that a nice brassy looking bronze. There's a duck just outside the window. You might be able to hear it, you might not. Back with a nice little dusting there. Not too much, just enough to help it shine. A little bit on the inside there of the arm and the body. There we go. That's pretty good. The contrast paint should work really well there. Next up we have this guy. Again, we just want to lightly dust the white over there. We don't want it too thick anywhere. Because we want a lot of shadows on our shaman. We want him to really stand out. Whack indeed. Ducks, 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 ducks. Right, so again, we want him to be really dark. Shadow-wise, but we also want him to be a little bit more vibrant color-wise. So a good dusting of the white while not being quite as heavy on the belt as we were on the other guy. Should make him pop a little more comparatively. Alright. There we go. Alright. Clean our brush off again. Palette will keep the paint wet in case we need it. Or Tobi Kadachi, depending on how long it takes us to do. I am probably going to have to go get more napkins, though. I have a stack over there. Don't know how many take. And I should say at this point that the rest of the goats are not ready to be painted tonight. If we finish these two too early, we either start a side project or call the stream early because they're not ready because I ran out of primer. Case in point, you take this goat, he looks ready, and then you turn him up and you see all that gray that is not yet primed. There's a couple that stand out a lot more. This one. See the pretty big difference in the colors there. Thought I'd have enough primer. It was desperately trying to finish the job, but it could not, and I didn't want to do a slapdash job with it. We have these, and again, we'll start something else if we have to, but I think these two are going to take us a while because we got to figure out what color we even want them to be. I know I want Gorgrunta fur in here somewhere. Not sure where yet. I know I want the deal on his belly to be like a bronze-ish. And so our options for that are Asdrig yellow would work. That's Yandon yellow. Asdrig yellow would work, especially if we water it down a little bit with like plague bear flesh, which I think is what we're probably gonna do. Agarus Dunes is not a terrible thought either. We got a lot of options, basically. That's your outfit change and your limber break? Nice. You are making good progress, my sir. Friend. I'm only a little bit past that point myself because I haven't had as much time to play as I wanted to. Now, we have a couple interesting colors here too, in Cygor Brown and Rattling Grime. I think Rattling Grime would be really interesting to put in some parts of this. So what I want to do is I want to take our Rattling Grime and I want to put it on the hooves. And then we'll see what it looks like for the rest of the colors. Take our old spotter friend. I did get a new brush today, but I forgot to bring it in here. I wanted to use it tonight, and I just forgot to do so. Okay. White has spread a little bit further than we wanted it to on the palette. It's mixing in right there. I guess white is probably all the way over. Okay. I'm probably going to have to go wash out the palette, but let's just see what it looks like on the bottom of the hooves. Okay, I was really hopeful for Rattling Grime, and I don't know if it's because the white's been mixed in or what it is, but it's not quite the color I thought it was going to be. There's a lot of white in that. Let's just pull that paint off there with this brush. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do, chat. I'm gonna go change out my wet palette, wash it off, because it was a little bit too wet, and so there's a little bit too much white in there. And when we come back, we're gonna use a different color that's not Rattling Grime. Raising Flames, nice. Haven't picked that up yet. All right, so I will be right back, chat. Okay, I'm back. Paint did bleed through to the sponge because it was too wet. But I got just about all of it off. Put a new palette on. I forgot to cut it to size again. I am struggling tonight, chat, when it comes to remembering. I wish I could show you cutting it to size, but you know how YouTube is with hobby knives and non-hobby knives. Still gotta get the top. That it is so hot here that I wound up taking a nap before the stream, and still I'm super exhausted. Like, well, if I take a nap ahead of time, then it'll be fine and I won't be tired for the stream. But it is just so hot in this house. It's hot everywhere right now. Okay, I cut a little bit too much of it. Normally I have a space that I place it on and cut it to fit and everything, but forgot to do that. Okay, now, Rattling Grime was not working the way we wanted it to. So, we'll go with a different color. Our wet palette. Need to add just a little bit more water back to it. Or is it? No, I think it's okay. Just not fitting right because it's not cut right. But that's okay. Alright, so we're not going to go with Rattling Grime. Sounds good, Will. Maybe by the time you're back, I'll have everything actually working like it's supposed to. Rough start to a stream today, but you know what? There's been rougher. There's been rougher. Ramen, I don't blame you there. Okay. So, Rattling Grime was a no-go, unfortunately. Much as I wanted it to be. I think we're going to try mixing some colors and try to make like a really dull-looking brass. For that chest piece. I think we're going to try mixing some Nazarick yellow. Bit of Nazarick yellow. Set that aside because I want to use it still. Take a little bit of Blood Angel's Red. Too much, just a little bit. A little bit, that's way more water than I wanted to add, but that's okay. We were trying to mix the colors anyway. Alright. Again, way more water than I wanted to add. Just another of my many failures tonight. Okay. Take a bit of Plague Bearer flesh. This is already one of those streams where I wish I could just start over. I'm gonna mix that in. All of this here. Really worried about how this is going to look. Also super wet. not actually applying. I feel like right now it's just a watercolor. And that it's less paint than it is a watercolor. This is what I get for trying to do a bunch of stuff that I don't yet know how to do. And trying to do them while I'm live. Making a bunch of mistakes. Did wind up a lot more red than I wanted it to be. Professional mini painters are going to watch this back and be like, what is this idiot doing? I would love to know the answer to that question as well, please. Nasdrig yellow. Okay, now we're starting to get closer to the color I want. Can't even see it because my arm's in the way, but put just a little bit more of the Plague Bear flesh in there. Oop. 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 Mix it all in together. My goal is to make like a really corny looking brass. I think we're getting pretty close to that. This is really my first time experimenting this much with mixing paint and more than one paint at a time. I've had some success before mixing 2 colors. This is 3 colors, and let's see how it looks. Still wound up being very red, but you can definitely make out the other colors in it. In a way that I actually really like. I actually really like that, yeah. I think when that dries, that's going to be a really interesting color. It was a pain to mix, but I think the effect is definitely worth it. Got like a burnished appeal to it. And I kind of want to do all the metal in that way for their stuff. Well, we already have this all mixed up, you know? Just... have all these spikes. Tip of it here. The one thing I love about mini painting is that even if I mess it up, even if it winds up not being the color I wanted it to be, it's still unique to me. Like, I tried to do it, and whether I succeeded or fail, I did it, you know? It was my success or my failure. And this one, I'm thinking is a little bit of a success. I'm really liking the way this color turned out. It was a tough start to a stream, but I think we absolutely got somewhere with this already. And learning a new skill, especially when it comes to painting, is never going to be something that I'm upset by, even if it took us a little while to get there. I really like the way that metal looks. That is looking really nice. Just a spike right there. Alright, I think even the grenades, where it's like, yeah, but these grenades work, but they're super old. They didn't make them, they stole them, you know? Yeah, I think that looks really nice. Alright. There's some metal on his arm right here, too. I think that's supposed to be metal there as well, from the look of it. It's bound to his arm. Got a binding there to hold it. I'm really happy with how that turned out. That looks really good. I think we're gonna do the bands on the horns in that color too. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty nice. Yeah. I got a little bit too much on the back of the horn there, but okay. Yeah, that's looking really nice. Alright, so now we just need to get the grenade on his side and then his gun with this color. And we'll move on to the shaman for it. I'm really happy with how that turned out. That color looks really good when it's dry. Trying to be very careful here because we don't want that on top of the bindings. No. Getting around the edge of the fingers there is pretty difficult, but I think I pulled it off. All right. I think that, oh, I forgot the shoulder pad here. I think this color looks really good. It was a lot of work mixing it together, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I stand by the fact that with all the mistakes that I make, if I can paint minis to a level where I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think these look pretty good. Anybody can. I want that a little bit more wet so it doesn't dry clear. I want it to be a little more odd looking, you know? Okay. We're gonna set him aside for now. We're gonna work on our shaman. Now, originally I thought I wanted a wooden pole that the shaman was holding, but I think it's better if it's not wood at all. I think it's better if it's all metal. So its whole staff is this rusty looking, grimy looking metal. And because we didn't put as much white on the staff, it should wind up giving it a different shade to a point than the rest. Like, it'll be a little darker in places. I think that'll actually wind up making it look really cool. Manacles. Here. And the gray. I think I want to do the cabling in a different color to make it stand out a little bit more. And I want to do that in bone skeleton horde. I like the idea of his being a little more red too. I don't know why, but that really appeals to me. I'm now realizing that since we mix those colors, we got to mix those colors again for all the others, but at least we know what they are. They're Blood Angels red, Nazarick yellow, and Plague Bearer flesh. And the mix is worth it, so like I'm not upset by it. It just, I had suddenly remembered I was going to have to do it again next time. Alright, now this one's got manacles. Oh, I forgot to get the back of the staff. Would have been a mistake. This one got manacles, or has got manacles on his feet as well, that we'll need to get. Wet palette has gotten a little bit more dry than it was, but I don't really want to try and pull the water back over because I'm going to mix it because that was too wet originally. Again, I make so many mistakes. If you ever thought that you can't do this, you can. So I make a million mistakes, and somehow my minis come out looking okay. And I think they actually wound up looking pretty good, personally. Just me. Okay, let's get the metal plate here. Manacle here. Alright. Set him aside for now. Back to our boy for the next color. The easy choice is to go snakebite leather next. See how we feel about that. We're already 43 minutes in. It took forever to mix those paints, huh? But we'll try and get these two done to be our template for the rest. Oh, it's so hot. All right. Snakebite leather. Water in there. Okay. Now we're looking at pouches. And leather straps. Right, and I think we'll go ahead and grab the whip in the snakebite leather too. I'm also thinking about the hoods in snakebite leather. I think the hoods being in the leather would make a lot of sense. Because that is just a hood over his face. He does still have a goat head underneath. Alright. Actually, he's looking really good. I kind of want to do something special with the tabards, though, instead of doing snakebite leather. Welcome back. The colors we mixed together are actually looking really good. It was a lot of work to get them on there, but I think it was worth it. See, the shade gives the darker color there gives that whip have a different mix too. And then you have the red of the grime that we added with the mix, and I think it looks pretty dang good. Alright, so that's the mask done. And the whip done. We're going to switch to our other guy. And then after we do all the snakebite leather on him, then I think it's going to be time to start doing fur. All right, the leather straps. I want to do the tassels in different colors than the leather straps, but... Oh, we forgot his shoulder pad in our... We're going to have to go back and grab that. Have to add more water to it. We can use it. His pauldron. I don't necessarily want to mix a lot more of it right now when we just have a pauldron to do. Alright, that's pretty much... We want to do the mask too. Oh, I thought about doing his mask in a different color. I feel like we should stick to it. Going for the leather masks. You can always try mixing some other colors in if we want them to pop more. But like I said, I don't really want their bodies to just be brown anyway, so... Help differentiate some of that. I think I want to put a little bit of red in there. Just to make it stand out a little more. You know? In fact, I'm thinking I might make their fur red. For corn. I know most goats don't have red fur, but... I'd already decided I wanted to be corny boys. And like at this point, look, most of my army is red. Why did I take him off? Most of my armies are red. Might as well just keep the trend, right? My Blood Angels are red. My Necrons are probably going to be red. And I want World Eaters, which would be red. And if I ever got the Tau would also be red because they'd be Farsight Enclave because that's the best Tau. The best Sept. Enough of the color still here. Get his pauldron, please. Oh, that's mostly just water. Come on. It's going to be a very messy looking pauldron. But honestly, that might not be too bad. Kind of thick, kind of slurpy looking pauldron. A little too watery though, starting to flow onto his arm. I just have to leave that for when we get the rest of the... We paint the rest of them, but... Or... we just pull the rest of the excess water off. I don't think that's going to dry very nice, to be honest with you. I think we just do this the old-fashioned way. Oop. Put on a coat of red. our other brush here to pull some of it off. Really thin. When I say some, I mean we're going to pull a lot of it off. Trying out a different technique here just to see which one is better. I've seen painters on YouTube that have done both techniques. Very wet. Gonna be pretty grimy. Once that starts to dry, then we'll put a little bit of Plague Bearer in there. See which one we like more. But honestly, I think those colors, those two for sure, but even with a little bit of Plague Bearer, I think it actually mixes pretty dang well. Into a pretty nice little mixture. The Plague Bearer flesh just lightens it up enough, you know. Okay. Oh, that gives me an idea, and I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea, but I think we gotta try it. I probably shouldn't just be mixing paints like crazy, but I mean, there's only one way to find out what'll happen. Got that. That looks like blood. Blood Angel's Red. I just got some of that on my hand. I go to work tomorrow and they're gonna be like, what happened to your finger? Nothing. My finger's fine. I just made a dumb mistake because I'm an idiot sometimes. All right. Here we go. Think this is gonna work, chat? I really do. I'm gonna try mixing just these two together. Blood Angel's Red and Plague Bearer flesh. Wow, that Blood Angel's Red just ate that Plague Bearer flesh. I guess it's a good thing that we used Nazarick Yellow to mess with it before. We're gonna need quite a bit more Plague Bearer flesh to... You may say, why Plague Bearer flesh when that's a Nurgle color? Well, I practiced with a lot of Plague Bearer flesh while we were painting the Death Guard, and wound up coming to really appreciate what the color can do. I think it is a really good color. And especially when thinned out, it looks really nice. Yes, I see that there is still red leaking out from that Blood Angel's Red, or that was underneath it before that I missed. I'm about to clean it up, chat. Wait, sir. It's everywhere. YouTube, I promise you, this is just paint. It is not blood, no matter what you might think or no matter what it looks like. It is just paint, man. Okay, still a little bit there, but I can get the paint remover and scrape it off later. Let's see how this turns out. It's still very red. Hoping for a little bit more of a pale color there. but it's still very, very red. Which, I mean, it makes sense. There's a lot of red in there. But we could add in some apothecary white. We can lighten it up some. I think if we add just a little bit more plague bearer flesh to that, I think it'll actually wind up looking pretty. Yeah, see, this is becoming a much more muddy color, which is what I was hoping it would be. Almost like the color of old dry blood. Please don't get all covered in paint. Paintbrush. We're just making messes over here is what we're doing. That's the goal tonight, is to experiment and make messes. Let's see what it looks like. It's still really red. But it's a lot less red than it was. We'll see what it looks like when it dries. But I'm kind of digging it. A lot more work to make than I thought it was going to be, but there's a little projection right there, and that got red when I didn't mean for it to, but that's okay. Again, this is just for the hair. It almost looks like a tomato sauce. But I really like that the white shines through. Like, I legitimately really like the way this color turned out. But it will definitely depend on how it dries. There's a tiny little part of me that wishes that I had done tabards in this color now instead. But also, I do really like the way this color turned out. I think once the Cygor Brown is on there, I think it will pop a little better. Alright, while we still have it and it's still wet, let's get our other goat boy. The fun part is going to be mixing these again and like trying to find a consistency that's close. It doesn't have to be the same, but that's close. I want to get the leg there, so we'll up. Hopefully it's wet enough that it's pretty easy to just grab it and move it again. The hair at the bottom of the hoof. His beard. Little splash of it right here. Okay. Yeah, I think we're doing pretty good here. It's almost like a weird orange, and I kind of like it. Like their fur has been stained, you know? All right, I think it's time to go ahead with the big color and go with the brown. We played around with enough mixing colors, and we've succeeded, I think. We made some really interesting colors that I don't think you're going to see on everybody's Beastmen, right? But I think it's time to go ahead and do some straight colors of Cygor Brown. Or do we want Gorgrunta fur? I think maybe we want Gorgrunta for the body. Almost knocked him over. I think Gorgrunt is going to flow better into the other colors that we've done. And look really nice with them. Because my main goal going into this was that they wouldn't just be brown goats, you know? They're space goats. They're not just regular goats. And I also wanted my goats to be unique. And I think, just personally, I think I have succeeded in that regard. Are very different than what you'll see box art painted. And hopefully very different than what you'll see anywhere else painted. And I really like the colors we mixed together. I think they look really nice. I think the Gorgrunta does flow really well with the other colors, just like I was hoping it would. only real complaint I have right now is how much brown is in them. I feel like maybe I should have done some other colors that weren't so brown, because I didn't want them to just be brown anyway, you know? But I really like how light the hair is versus the rest of the model. May need another coat of that before we're done. Just to make it pop a little more. Because those browns do kind of just mix together, you know? I think maybe another coat of the red to help that pop would be nice. I think the Gorgrunta might be a little too bright. But the good news is the goats do not have to be the same. Missed some hair up there. So I think we're gonna do this other one in Cygor. It is. It's a little poopy brown. Yeah. I'm not sure I love that. I think we're gonna try this other one in Cygor brown. And see how we feel about that one. Because one of the big things about the goats is they are mutations. So they don't all have to be the exact same color. In fact, personally, I think it's cooler if they're not all the same color. Let's see how this one looks when he's done. Just a little spot of hair there anyway. Alright, so the question now becomes, which one of these do we like more? That's a tough call. The Gorgrunta made him very red. But I kind of dig it. Whereas the Cygor made him very dark. I don't know. What do you think, chat? Which one do you think looks like the red of... Let me bring it closer to this camera. Well, they're not focusing on that camera, so... You like the red or you like the brown? Left. I think I do too. I think I like that one more as well. I think it just gives it a little bit more personality. What I think we're gonna do is we're gonna take and redo the fur, and we're also gonna mix in some Gore-Grunta into the darker guy. Because I think that in trying to avoid making him more brown, I think we made him way more brown. And the guy that originally looked like he was going to be more brown, when the paint dried, he wound up being a lot more red in a way that I really like. So we're going to mix some of that in. He'll always be a little bit darker than the other guy, but that's okay. Because again, it makes him a little bit special, you know? But this should lighten him up some. I also really like the idea of, hey, these goats, their whole existence has been given to corn, and so their very bodies have become stained with the blood they've shed, you know? I think that's a cool... That's a cool way to take them. All right. Now we're going to redo the hair. Give the hair another coat while this paint is still wet right here. And I decided just a second ago, I want to go ahead and make this hair on this the same color as if it was taken from other goats, because I just really like that idea. Because they are chaos goats, right? They're chaos beastmen. And since they follow corn, well, you know, corn cares not from whence the blood flows. So long as it's flowing, that's all that matters to him. Yeah, that's lightening him up a lot. We're gonna mix a little bit of that in there just to bring him up, and then we'll dab at it. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Because he's still pretty dark, but... We'll go ahead and have this made from the same stuff. Alright, I think we got all his hair. I am covered in red paint. I'm gonna get done with this stream and the wife's gonna think that I bled everywhere in here. Alright, I think we might have to give him another coat of Gore-Grunta to lighten him up more, but let's finish with the hair here. With the second coat on the hair. And then we will try and get the tabards and wrap these boys up.
Blame this on the misfortune of your birth.
Blame it indeed on the misfortune of your birth. I really like the way the hair turned out with this tomato paste that we made. I think it looks really good. And I really like the way the hide turned out here with that Gore-Grunta. Where it's that reddish tint, but it's also very clearly a different color from the hair. I think that's really cool. Alright, we're gonna give him another coat of Gore-Grunta. And then we're gonna do the tabards. And then we're gonna do the horns. And then we're done, I think. Thanks for your input, Will. I really do value it. And I think it was the right call. Because I think the Gore-Grunta is a much better color for what we're going for here. It's lighter. Not so muddy. Okay. Next up's the tabards. I want to do the tabards in Flesh Terror's red. It is a different color of red yet again. So that, yes, there's a lot of red on them. There will be no mistaking what Chaos God they serve, but it also looks different, you know? Here it is. It's a different color red, and I think it just will really help them pop while still fitting the theme that we're going for here of the goats that follow corn. All right, we missed a spot with the hair, so we'll need to get that before we stop. We missed a couple spots with the hair on these guys. We'll put the back of these as the Flesh Terror to make it pop a little more. And then we just got to get the horns and finish up his hair, and then he will be done. Oh, I'm really happy with how he turned out. I know these first streams when we paint something brand new are kind of experimental, where it takes a little while to get them done, you know. But we're going to mix just a little bit of that Flesh Terror's red on the tips of those spikes. Just to make it look like a little bit of fresh blood on the end of those. But I am really happy with how he's turned out. I know I pulled him back to me, but I did his eyes real quick, right up in front of me, where I could make sure I wasn't going to mess him up. I think we need one more coat of the hair on him, too, just to be safe. Got his eyes real quick. We might need a fresh coat of the hair on both, because we did water that paint down a lot, and it's kind of mixing into the Gorgrunta. I don't really want it to mix in at all. I want it to be very clearly a different color. We may just have to come back in and lighten it up some more. But I'm hoping by doing one more coat, it'll be pretty clear where the Gorgrunta stops and the hair begins. Then we'll do the horns. They definitely wound up being a lot more red than I expected that they would turn out. But like I said earlier, I'd rather have the red than I did the brown. Because everybody's goats are going to be red. I mean, everybody's goats are going to be brown for the most part.
What else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dark.
All right, even though he wound up being a lot darker, I think the red of the beard there is actually like really striking compared to the rest. Oh, we forgot to get the hooves. I want to do the hooves in black. All right, we're gonna get the horns in skeleton horde, and then we're gonna get the hooves in black, and then we're gonna stop. Because we could just keep working on them, keep working on them, keep working on them, keep working on them. We'll see what the hair looks like after that, if we need to do one more pass over it or not. We watered it down so much that it's gonna take a little bit for it really to... But I think it's starting to be pretty different color-wise than the Gorgrunta. Okay. Please don't take off my mask, my place to hide. All right, there's his horns done. And as it dries, I think it is that hair is looking thicker. I'm liking it.
I can't tell you how to see me.
Get your bone necklace down there.
There's nothing inside. Will it always be
Bone at the end of this here. And the horn right there. And the horn right there.
for me to break? I'm a sharpshooter.
Alright, looks like we missed a little bit of his hide right there, so we'll need to fix that real quick. Maybe a little bit more Gorgrunta on him real quick too. But I am kind of digging the... What itches? I am kind of digging the Cygor with the Gorgrunta on top. Maybe we might mix those two for the 2 parts Gorgrunta to 1 part Cygor. The others, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I got some time to think about it. Definitely parts of him that are still way too dark. All right. They still wound up being a lot darker than I'd originally planned on doing them, but I'm pretty happy with how they've turned out. I had a lot of setbacks early on, a lot of problems. Where is my Black Temple? I almost said Rattling Grime again, and we don't want that. We've already proven we don't want that. Here it is. I want to do their hooves in Black Templar. him dry for a minute. Nice smooth coat. Black Templar around the bottom of the hooves. Okay. All right. Couple spots the paint was a little too thick on there. Not mean to reactivate that. Too much water on that brush. That. The song that I always used to play at the end of every stream. I didn't know it was basically time. Well, definitely made a lot of mistakes tonight. But ultimately, I think we made something really special too. And we learned a lot about mixing paints tonight. This knowledge is going to help me for a long time. Again, I did not plan to make them this dark, but I think he legitimately looks good. And he looks very Korn. If I asked you which of the Chaos Gods does he follow, Korn is probably going to be your first pick. I like him. This guy wound up even darker. But I kind of dig that too, and it makes me kind of want to do each of the goats in a slightly different color for their body, because they're all mutants, right? Like this one wound up being really dark, but I kind of dig it. Especially after the coats of Gorgrunta to bring the color up. Whereas this guy wound up being a lot lighter. But I think together they make a pretty interesting pair. And I think I'm going to make each of their bodies slightly different color-wise. So, again, thanks everybody for coming out for the stream. We're only doing these two tonight. We'll do the rest 2 weeks from now. When I've had time to go back and finish priming them since I ran out of primer. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think this one's too red, even though he's supposed to be corn? Do you think he's just still too red? Do you think this one's just too dark? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I know, again, I made a lot of mistakes, but I'm still learning, and I learned a lot of good lessons, and I'm really happy with how the grime for the metal came off. I think it wound up looking really good. So, we'll be back Monday with MO Mondays. We'll be back Tuesday with a regular podcast. Wednesday, we're going to play something. Thursday, we'll be talking about Irish mythology, and Friday, we'll finish the Wing Gundam Zero. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. And until next time, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. The Go Boys have to offer.